I've seen all of his movies. I mean, I remember seeing Assault on Precinct 13 when I was a teenager in London and going to sing it with my older brother and my younger brother. I went to go see it at the Odeon, High Street, Kensington. Remember really clearly, loving it. I remember going to seeing Halloween in Leicester Square. The Thing, Escape from New York, Starman, Memoirs of an Invisible Man, Loved. Yeah, I mean, I've seen all of his films.
Doors. Print. Gates. Awesome. Very nice.
The Ward was a script that was offered me, and it's kind of a neat little horror film, actually a psychological thriller. And it was an ensemble cast of females, which I hadn't done in a long time, if ever. And so it just really was appealing. I thought, why not?
He didn't care for it initially. And we took it back and did some more work on it and some more rewriting and fixing and listened to some of the points that he had made about it. And went back to him and he said, this is really good. There's something going on here. I think I could be interested.
Is a master in what he does, and I am thrilled to see how it all kind of comes together because of the unique thing that I know he'll bring to the movie that I couldn't possibly read off of a script.
Second, that's in frame. Okay. And action.
I come from a background of, I'm fan first, and then I've spent the last 20 years making, buying, acquiring, and producing films, mostly horror films, but the thought that I was actually eventually going to be able to say I was some way associated with a John Carpenter picture, it was probably beyond the realm of my perception of what I thought I could possibly do. So we could say this is John Carpenter's menu and I'd be happy, or John Carpenter's shopping list, but the fact that I can say John Carpenter's The Ward is fantastic, and I'm associated with it, which is even better. Maybe not for John, but for me it's great.
Set. And action.
That's mine! You can't have it! I'm gonna get it.
This is the first time he's been on set for any length of time in almost 10 years. So it's been a while since we've seen something from the mind of John Carpenter. It's really remarkable to me that Halloween was made on such a shoestring budget. It was made on a budget of $300,000, which in a world where we make movies for $300 million practically, it's really remarkable how talented he is at telling these really scary stories and keeping you suspended in that disbelief.
I like the genre, I'm a fan of the genre, I'm a fan of the director who happens to be a veteran of the genre. So it kind of was the perfect setting for me. And I guess some actresses or actors tend to steer away from the genre, but I feel like if it makes me happy, I'm having a great time, I can really put a lot of effort into my work with other really talented artists. Hopefully it'll be the best that it can be, and it'll be worth it for me.
Like a basketball team, everybody needs a point guard, and ours is Amber Heard, and she really, everything runs through her. Amber's in nearly every scene in the movie. She's working nearly every day, and she really has to kind of like carry the film many days on her own, and she's done a great job. I don't think she's ever been in that position before, but we look at her and it's like you feel like she's been doing it forever, and she really, everybody kind of works off her. So it's very much like a great team effort. It's been fantastic.
The girls have been terrific. Jared Harris has been terrific. The energy that has come from the coming to life of their characters, as well as the things they have done to even enhance the parts from the page, has been terrific.
And 1, 2, 3, down!
Fortunately, I was familiar with his work and I was a fan, and I think it's pretty rare that you can actually work side by side or even collaborate with somebody you admire so much, with someone that you can trust. Ultimately, everything from the point of meeting him for the first time on was just, I could expect it, and I've always expected really a lot from him.
I love actors, and in terms of, respect what they do, and I make them work because it takes less work. It takes all the work off me, so I don't have to do anything. I think actors have to bring it when they come, bring it, and bring ideas, and be passionate about your role, and it'll be much better than what I tell them.
He knows exactly what he's after in each piece of the coverage, and I get the impression that he's edited it in his head. He'll just shoot pieces of it. He won't do necessarily the whole scene. He'll shoot it for pieces, and sometimes he's only interested in like a certain small section of it, but he'll let it run beforehand and after. But you get the idea that the shot really only works framing-wise and aesthetically for a specific section of it, so that he's sort of, which is kind of old school, and they don't let people do that anymore because the studios want to have control and they don't want to be locked into a version of the film that the director has, and they want to be able to basically kick the director out of the editing room and be able to re-edit themselves,
He sort of has this attitude of, I've hired you to do your job and I trust you to do it right. So he's not interfering, he's not nitpicking, so he's really trusting, which has been so liberating, and not to have to constantly worry about, am I doing it right? And, because this is, at the end of the day, an art form, so there really is no right, in my opinion.
He comes across as being, very old school and very serious, and he runs a tight ship. There's no fooling around. Everyone do their job, phones off, no messing around. But, sometimes I'll be like, John, am I in the shot? And he's like, what do you care if you're in this shot? I'll be like, well, I kind of want to know if I need to be in this, know my line, whatever. And he's like, yeah, you're in this shot. And I'll be like, thanks for telling me. He totally fools around and jokes that he's the mean guy. But he'll come up to us and he'll be like, I watch dailies, don't change a thing. And he watches, he knows, he does his thing. And he's just, when he's on set, he just is all business. But he's got this dry humor that I love.
I think he has a very big soft spot for women. And I've noticed on set he's very good at charming and taking care of us. And I see him giving the men a harder time. So I think that even if he wanted to get on to us or something, his heart won't let him.
We've got 5 women, 5 young women, and we're going to throw them in with John. And how is that dynamic going to work? And it's been absolutely great. I think they look to John as a father figure as well as the legendary director that he is. And I think he's taken on this very avuncular role with them. It's he's really catered to their strengths as actresses, but he's also kind of elevated them as well. He's given them a lot of room to grow.
He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
The scariest part of the film is the concept. Imagine if you found yourself in a mental institution in a period where you could be involuntarily committed, and you suspected or knew that people were being killed around you, and no one would believe you because they thought you were crazy.
We are at a mental hospital right now as we speak. This is a building that's not currently being used to treat patients, but the floor below us is still a fully functioning hospital. It's more of the administrative work, but that building right there and the building that's just right there are all fully functioning buildings of this mental hospital where there are patients out every day and we see them, and You know, there's no telling what actually has gone on in these walls in the years prior, because I'm sure this hospital has been here for decades.
And when we did a walkthrough before we actually went into principal photography, everyone kind of was looking over their shoulder and listening for sounds and kind of jumpy, and it's a kind of creepy place in itself in the middle of the day when you're with a bunch of your coworkers or film crew, and it's still creepy. So hopefully it is the ideal setting to carry it's an ideal vessel to carry our little project in, because it's not the best place to just hang out, that's for sure.
We were all a little nervous when we were doing rehearsals with John. Like, all the girls and I were like, so my trailer's gonna be locked, right? So there'll be a security guard, right? But once we got here, it's been wonderful. And the building is perfect, and there's paint peeling and original light fixtures, and everything is so cool.
And it's been great. The buildings are great here. They're old, they have a real character to them. They give us a lot of depth when we shoot. I'm really happy with it.
And at the time, the common thinking was that they housed them dorm-like in these rooms. Now, these buildings are abandoned because it's not even part of the way that they treat patients. And in fact, they're also called customers instead of being a patient. I mean, it's almost like a client. That's how the political correctness has changed. I mean, not only have there been great strides in what we know and how to treat mental health, but obviously there's been a lot more sensitivity to the issue. If you were to deal in a mental institution now, it would be totally unlike this.
It's one of those movies that you're going to watch and say, okay, oh, now we have to go back and we have to watch it again, because you're going to have so much more information that the movie is going to be a different movie the second time you watch it.
A lot of people describe it as a horror movie, and to me it's a little different. It's not a classic horror movie with just tons of blood and gore and all the time. It's a thriller, and I think it'll interest a lot of different people, not just people that are fans of the horror genre, but just regular, moviegoers as well.
Horror fans are the best fans in the world. You will never get a more dedicated, well, other than sci-fi. I'd have to say those two fall close to each other, but you won't get better fans than that.
You know, it really signals a change in philosophy in terms of where horror films have been recently. We hit the time when it was a slasher films in the 80s, and we hit what unfortunately has been called torture porn in this decade. And I think that what people are longing for and what they don't know really exists is a really scary movie. I think we've so gone over the top in terms of the gore and in terms of the torture and in terms of like how gross can you be. It's incredible when you can see what a true talent like John can do with a movie that may be PG-13, may be R, it'll probably be R because of certain things that we have. It doesn't have to be, it'll still be scary. And I look back to other recent films that we wanted to emulate, and I choose the others. And I think that's really what we're after. We're after something that kind of draws you in and kind of gets you excited about the characters and then really, really fearful for them, not for what they're going to experience, but for them as people, as characters. And I think that's what you feel when you see Amber, when you see the girls. You feel for them as characters, and you're very concerned when you start to see gurneys roll down the hall and wheelchairs being pushed by unknown forces. You worry for them, and I think that's the scary moment that we're after.
Nothing else.